The release of the PSVR 2 is coming closer and closer, and I'm so excited about it. So I wanted to explain why by talking about the massive new features that I think will change the game, literally. This video will get you up to speed with the latest PSVR 2 news and gives us a chance to marvel at the technology together for a few minutes. So since its announcement, we've been slowly getting more reviews. The latest updates were even in the last 2 months. We saw developers getting to try it for the first time during GTC 2022, and judging from the resulting tweets, we're in for something special with the PSVR 2. So we still don't have a release date, but the current speculation is that Sony is doing everything possible to deliver at least the first batches for the holiday season, which generally means before Christmas this year. However, due to supply chain issues, of course, this can also be in 2023. So the price has not been confirmed yet either, but many expect the headset to be around $400 to $450. But let's get started on number 7. We have the new headset design. Sony shared a first look in February. The orb-shaped headset is inspired by the slick look of the PS5 console, but the most exciting part is that Sony has paid very close attention to the ergonomics of the headset. Their goal: to keep you immersed to the point where you almost forget you are using a VR headset. So there is careful weight balance, a simple adjustable headband, a hardware IPD adjustment dial, and new vents. These vents in the headset let the air out and avoid having the lens fog up while players are immersed in their VR games. We'll be moving a lot more with the new tracking, so this is a welcome feature if it stops the overheating. So that brings us to number 6, the new inside-out tracking. Tracking on the old PSVR was not good, as it needed the ancient PlayStation camera, which only allowed for front-facing tracking. So this usually meant you couldn't even turn around without losing tracking. So the PSVR 2 does not have this problem, as it has 4 cameras on the headset for head and controller tracking. It's similar to what we have with the Quest 2 and should allow for full room-scale VR. It's still not wireless, however, but hopefully you'll be at least glad to know that this is all achieved with only a single USB-C cable connected to the PS5. Now, no one knows yet how long the cable will be or if the tracking will be as good as Quest 2, but these changes are promising. Let's continue to number 5, HDR. The PSVR 2 has a new 4K OLED with HDR support. This means it will probably be the first HDR headset on the market, depending on when it releases, but because of that, we also don't know yet if HDR will make a big difference. The refresh rate will still be 2 options, 90Hz and 120Hz, and the field of view is estimated to be around 110 degrees. I suppose this is diagonal. The lens is, according to Sony, a light, well-balanced Fresnel lens, although Fresnel lenses usually come with a problem God rays in exchange for other benefits. However, a patent granted to Sony in 2020 reveals that Sony may have a solution to the God rays problem. We can't say if this might end up in the PSVR 2 yet, but at least the option is on the table. The 2016 PSVR display aged very well. Even now, it's still not that bad looking compared to other older headsets, so that's why I have high hopes for the new display. Another interesting feature is number 4, the next generation haptic feedback. The PSVR 2 will be the first headset to include haptics within the headset itself. So created by a single built-in motor, your head can feel subtle, responsive vibrations at key moments during gameplay. Sony says you can think about detecting your character's elevated pulse during tense moments, the rush of bullets passing close to your head, or the thrust of your spaceship as you go into warp drive. Some people even speculate this may help against motion sickness. You know what else would help tremendously? If you like this video, and as thank you, here's a picture of my cat. Next-gen haptic feedback is also in the controllers, bring us to number 3. One of the biggest improvements to PSVR 2 is the new Sense controllers. They have capacitive touch sensors, haptic feedback with a single actuator per unit, and adaptive triggers. The haptic feedback allows you to feel differences between textures, like when you run through a rocky desert or you knock down a foe, it will all feel different. The adaptive triggers add a noticeable tension when you press the trigger buttons. This is similar to what's found on the PS5 DualSense controllers, where if you press the L2 or R2 buttons, you can feel resistance. For example, you can feel the tension when drawing your bow to fire an arrow. These features already feel awesome on the PS5 controllers, so I expect maximum immersion if you apply those mechanics to VR. Now, I think number 2 will change everything. The PSVR 2 has integrated eye tracking with 2 internal infrared cameras per eye. So it can detect what you're looking at and you can wink at people. So far, eye tracking only exists on expensive VR headsets, most for enterprise only. So the PSVR 2 might be the first again to bring it to the consumer market. Eye tracking will be a game changer for many things like social interactions, as virtual avatars will feel more lifelike, or think about winking at an NPC and getting an appropriate response. But one of the big ones here is foveated rendering. This is a rendering technique where only the part your eyes are focusing on will be rendered in high resolution. The rest isn't fully rendered, which you can still see, but it won't be as noticeable as you're not looking that way anyway. So this technique will improve performance and provide more clarity and details in the viewed image. During GTC, a Unity presentation proves this by showing us exactly how much performance improves, which is exciting. So far, Sony has only mentioned these things, but eye tracking can go far beyond that. It can also be used for automatic IPD adjustment as additional inputs and automated user logins, just to name a few. It is likely too that eye tracking will be in every new wave of VR headsets, like we already know that Meta's new VR headset will have it. So I think eye tracking is inevitable for the future of VR, and it will be exciting to see what developers will do with it. So on number 1, I'm mostly excited about AAA games. Content is king. We have no use of the hardware if there's nothing to do with it. PSVR is having a hard time right now because Meta's the only company with great exclusives, so they invest a lot of money in there. But if any company can change this landscape again, and we really need it, then it's Sony, because they own some very popular IPs. So they may launch some great exclusives with VR support. The first one we already know is coming is the Horizon Zero Dawn VR game, Horizon Call of the Mountain. We also know many developers already have PSVR 2 dev kits in their hands, so it's certain many games are already in the works. I expect many of the current PSVR developers to make games for the PSVR 2 and new developers, since Sony has shown interest in developers who can produce hybrid VR games that you can play flat screen but also in VR. Hopefully this means more AAA games will get VR support. So what popular PlayStation exclusive would you want to see with VR support? Let me know in the comments below. I personally would love to see Final Fantasy in VR. Now, this video was more about the massive features that I'm really excited for, and I really think that will change the game. But of course, we still have to review the PSVR 2 headset first, and we still have to experience it first before we know where the PSVR 2 will stand in the industry. What we do know was that the first PSVR was estimated to have sold 6 million units. That's a significant number for VR, and it's actually one of the most sold VR devices. However, whether this headset can beat Meta Quest 2 will be the question. The Quest 2 is still easier to use and cheaper overall, but beyond that, PSVR 2 may bring back some attention to tethered VR games with high-end graphics at a better price than PC VR headsets. So I am looking forward to what's to come. As you probably noticed, are you excited about this as a Quest owner, or are you new to VR, a PC VR owner, and you want to get into it more with the PSVR 2? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in VR. Bye.